will tell you. That is, when we are presenting a topic, we need to be very careful about these factors, because these factors actually influence our standard of presentation, our method of presentation, our style of presentation, and the impact that the presentation will have on our audiences. Clear? So that is why there are basically, altogether, I had segregated it into 10 important factors. There are 17, 20 factors, okay? But all of those factors, those 20 factors, it is not possible for you people to remember all the 20 factors, and it is not even required. Only the most important 10 factors I have noted, and I have sent to you in that PDF file, which you, when you go and read it, you will be able to understand what it is all about. But before those who have not read it, I'm going to explain you the thing, so that at the end, when you read it, you will be understanding what we are discussing. Now, what are the factors? Factor number one, just look at the PDF when I'm explaining. Keep that PDF in front of you, so that when I explain, you understand which point I'm talking about. What are the factors? Number one is audience analysis. Now, this point had come up again and again every single time when we discussed about what is presentation, when we discussed about the definition of presentation, the style of presentation. If you remember our first classes, when we started with the topic, this concept of analyzing your audience had come up again and again. What do we mean by that? We mean by this concept, we mean that if a speaker has analyzed the audience in a proper way before presentation, then his or her presentation will be more effective. If you remember, I gave you that example of election campaign, okay, where I said that a particular party member, or somebody, a candidate who is who has decided to work for a particular party, and if that candidate had decided that I will be joining this particular party and I will work for this party, okay. Now, what he or she will do is, when they get into the election campaign, they do a thorough analysis of their audience. If they are actually campaigning or giving an election campaign lecture to the mass audience, which are from a village oriented area or remote areas, their method of presentation, their method of discussion and topic discussion will be very different, okay. They will be using colloquial terms, they would be using, or they would be making promises which are more like that village or that remote place oriented. I even gave you this example, if you remember, that if an election campaign person is doing an election campaign in places like cities like Asansol, Kolkata, these places which are proper cities where electricity is not a problem. We have electrical, we have the supply of electricity, abundant supply of electricity. The election campaign, the person who will be doing the campaign, because he or she will do a thorough analysis and will try to find out what is the problem for this particular place, so that I can be making promising statement that if you elect me, I will do this for you, I will do that for you. They will not talk about electricity here. They will be talking about electricity maybe in remote areas of Purulia, those villages where there is no electricity till now. So audience analysis before your presentation is very necessary. Now, how is audience analysis going to be important for you people as engineers? You people are not those election campaign people, you are not political people, you are simple engineers. And how will this analysis help you? For example, if you are going to give a presentation for the process of shortlisting, if you are going to, if your shortlist of, or if your campus interviews the particular company for whom you are sitting for a placement drive, if they give you this topic for presenting, and this company is a company which deals with a particular product. You know that this is that company. You, before you sit for a placement, I'm sure you do a thorough analysis. You search in Google, and before sitting for that interview, you do a thorough analysis about the company. If you don't do it, please do it from now onwards. Those who have not been placed, it is a suggestion that when you sit for any interview, make sure that you do a thorough analysis about that company, like its, what are the profit margin, what are the things for within the last 10 years, what are the achievements made by that company, where are the things that the company is still lagging behind, so that you can make a lot of improvisation. That is what is audience analysis for you people. You people do not know who will come to take your interview. You are not aware of your interviewers or the audiences to whom you will give the presentation, but you are aware of the company for which you will be presenting your topic. So you will have to be very smart enough to make your presentation in such a manner so that your presentation, or the people who are your audiences, that is the company people who are your audiences, what I meant by audience analysis here. Did you understand what I meant by the term audience analysis here? Or is there anyone, any confusion? Then I will go to the second point. Did you understand? Am I audible to you people? Am I audible to you people?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the audience analysis concept which I said, or is there any confusion?
Ma'am, understood.
Understood. So the style of presentation largely depends upon the type, the size of audience. Now, if you are addressing to a mass, okay, if you are addressing to 50 odd people, your style of presentation should be different. What do I mean by that? That is, when you are presenting to a mass, you need to cater to a lot of people. There is varied people of varied culture. If there are 50 or 100 odd people, and you are addressing or giving a presentation to them, there are various people with various kinds of mindset, there are various people with various backgrounds, culture, religion. So you have to be as neutral as possible. Clear? But when you are giving the presentation to a small audience, that is for campus interviews. Normally in campus interviews, 50 people do not come to interview you people. There is now listen to this carefully. Presentation, not only, I'm not only referring to those PPT presentations. Presentation means even the kind of interviews that you give, that is also a kind of presentation, you can say, because they ask you various type of questions. Even though that is personal interview, we call it PI or personal interview, but at the end of the day, you are presenting yourself. How you are presenting yourself, that is very important. That is why a thorough analysis of that company is to be done, and that is your audience analysis. You are basically analyzing the audience before you sit for that presentation, before you sit for that interview. Because normally during these interview sessions, there are various rounds. GD round is there, personal interview, PI round is there, even there can be presentation rounds also, depending on the company's need. Okay. Number two is communication environment. That means communication environment affects the effectiveness of the preparation. Much of the audience notices the physical things surrounding the speaker, the stage, lighting arrangement, background, etc. Proper arrangement of these things can enhance the impact of presentation. If there is noise in the surrounding environment, it distracts the audience from listening and consequently leaves unhealthy messages. Now, I will give you a very simple example. This example or this factor of communication environment is not what happens to you every day. During interviews, it can happen. You will normally see during interviews or during these kind of shortlisting rounds, you are actually giving that interview, behind the closed doors, right? When you give that interview, you do not sit for any interview. I hope till now none of you had sat for any interview on that playground. None of you had done that, I'm sure. Why? Because environment for presentation is very, very important. What kind of environment? If the environment is friendly, if there is all the amenities that you require for presentation, that is lighting, proper speaker, proper stage, proper background, proper whiteboard, or maybe a projector, all these things, if they are properly arranged, then definitely it would have a different or a more professional impact on the audience. Okay, now simple example I will give of our classroom teaching. In a classroom, what we teachers do, basically we use Blackboard to present our topic. We are also doing like every day we are into a mode of presentation. Think from our point of view, we normally present every single day. We give presentation every single period. We go and we give presentation on different topics. Okay, we use Blackboard as our visual aid. Okay, now let us think it in that manner so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Now, during our presentation, that is during our class lecture, the moment you hear sound from outside, sound like some funny sound, there are like boys of other department running into the corridor, teasing each other, calling out names and making weird sounds. This every day happens because you might not have a break at that period. You might be having a class, but maybe the civil department students, they are having a break, or mechanical people might have a break, or CSC people might have a break. So during their break time, they can do whatever they want. They can fight, they can run, they can laugh, they can pass comments. So what happens is during those time when you are having a class and you hear these kind of noise, automatically your attention gets disrupted. Here, that is why it is necessary for the teachers while giving the presentation to close the door, because we do not want any kind of outside noise to come in which distracts the audiences. Okay, the listening process of the audiences gets distracted if the environment is not favorable. Clear? Number 3, personal appearance. Normally the speaker should be dressed well. The speaker should be delivering the presentation with proper words. Yesterday I told you people, not yesterday, maybe the day before, once I told you people that when you are using or giving your presentation, you should not use jargons. What do I mean by jargons? Means words which are incomprehensible, words which you do not understand, words which are not at all commonly used, very vague words. Do not use those kind of words. Use very professional, simple language when you are explaining. The speaker should be well dressed, wear neat and clean clothes, wear proper professional professional dresses, clean shoes with properly hair combed, because your personal appearance has a deep impact on the audience. If you go wearing funky sunglasses, having hair all spiked up, and with your first and second button open of your shirt, wearing those crocodile colored those patterned shoes, do you think that will have a very good impression? It will never have. People will not take you seriously. People will take you as a comic character. So your physical appearance, personal dress up is very important. It is an important factor. We are discussing about the factors that affect your presentation. Number 4, use of visuals. Means visuals can enhance professional image of your presentation. That is why I always tell you that when we discussed about means of presentation, if you remember, there are 3 means I discussed: oral only, visual only, and visual and oral. And I told you visual and oral are the most important form of presentation, right? So visual things like the visual aid that you use is a very, very important thing because it affects your presentation very deeply. How does it affect? Because if you use easy, understandable, interesting slides, okay, or handouts, or maybe points which will help the audience to gain some knowledge, and you use microphones or speakers so that your voice is loud and clear with proper visual, then that will have a great impact on your audience. Because first of all, how will it be impacted? First of all, if you use proper visuals, your audience's concentration will be completely on the screen that you're using. That is why every time I always tell you to share your screen. Why do I tell you that? I tell you that because first of all, I am not only the audience here. The audience here is your whole class, whole batch 2. All the students are your audience. The moment you are giving the presentation, everyone is your audience then. So all the audiences, when they look at that PPT, every slide when they look at, if you share the screen, they are forced to look at it, right? Oh, provided if they are not sleeping. So that is a different context. So they will be looking at that presentation, they will look at that slide. So that is a visual aid you are using to grab the attention of your audiences. Now when they are staring at that visuals and you explaining them simultaneously, what happens is it definitely gets inside the head of your audience. So your audiences do not have a chance to distract themselves. This is number 4, use of visuals. Number 5, opening and closing of your presentation. Now, this is also very important. Means opening of your presentation and closing of your presentation needs to be very, very proper. So it will actually, it has a deeper emphasis. Why? Because as we all know, there is a famous proverb that is, the first impression is the last impression. All of you know this famous proverb. That is, my first impression will be the most important impression that I can give to my audiences. If I walk inside the classroom, I'm giving an example. If I walk inside the classroom wearing a faded cloth, with all my hair not even combed properly, and I don't even oil or don't even put proper, I don't even keep myself clean, will you people like the moment? I might be an excellent teacher, I might be an excellent a person with a lot of knowledges, but if I enter the classroom with a tattered cloth and untidy look, and with all my socks are unclean, my shoes looks very bad and untidy, the first impression that my students will have is kahan se utke aa gayi hai. That will be the first impression. Now after I start teaching, maybe they will feel okay, knowledge acha hai iska, but the first impression which I gave you was a very negative impression. All throughout your life you will remember me as a person who is half crazy but with lot of knowledge. But as a teacher, I cannot afford to do that. As a teacher, I should be a person who is actually going to show you the correct ways, a person who will be influencing you. So when I influence you, I should not influence you only with my knowledge. I should influence you based on my attire, based on my personality, so that you can learn that I need to be like him or like her in order to be a professional personality. If I am professional person, this is how I should behave. This is how I should be professionally dressed. This is how I should walk inside my Organization. Clear? So opening and closing your presentation is equally important. When you are opening the presentation, it should have a proper introduction. It should have proper content to begin with. Like in a newspaper, we have proper headline. When we read the headline, we get a proper impression about the news. Similarly, your introduction should be like that headline. Okay, and the presenter opening the presentation should be interactive, should make interesting remarks, and should be very interactive, so that the listeners feel enthusiastic and the listeners also feel like interacting. The moment you start being interactive at the very beginning, automatically the audiences feels connected to you. The audience needs to feel connected to the speaker, to the presenter. Only after that your presentation will be successful. Your visual aid, your use of microphone, use of speakers, use of whiteboards, personal appearances, all these things will matter only when your presentation is effective and you are interacting always with the audience, so that they feel connected to you. Number 6, organization of presentation. This is something which you all know. What do I mean by that? Means how you are organizing or putting your slides, how you are organizing your speech. You already, the presentations in the first round which I saw, all of you have done a proper organization. All of you had put your presentations, your slides are all well organized. Even your speeches are well organized. So I'm not going into deeper explanations to it, but definitely I would tell that organization has a very important impact on your presentation, on the audience as well. If your presentation is properly organized, it is easier for us to, as an audience, it is easier for us to understand. What do I mean by organization? Organization is again subdivided into chronological, problem, cause and solution, excluding alternatives, pros and cons. Okay, these are the 4 subdivisions of organization. Means if you are drawing some historical evidences, then that should have a proper chronology. Okay, that should have a proper chronological evidence when you are putting them. That is past, present. In that manner, there should be a proper chronological um, or a synchronized manner. Then number 2 subdivision was problem, cause, solution. Means when you enter the deeper into the content should give us an idea of what is the problem, what is the cause of the problem, and how we are going to bring a solution to the problem. So we need to highlight on these 3 areas always. If you have not yet highlighted in your presentation, in your second round of presentation, remember these points. That is why these theories are being taught to you, so that when you make it, you can improvise them in your practical work. That is, when you enter into the content, you need to be knowing the problem. For example, the topic which I gave you, Brexit, the impact of Brexit when UK or in UK is out of Brexit, what is the outcome? What is the cause of that? Chronologically, how was like Brexit, this thing chronologically, historically, when it was with European Union, what were the things? So you need to draw a historical background of that. Okay, I'm just giving you this example for your round 2 topics so that you can understand historically what are the things, what was the condition of UK previously, give a chronological evidence. Then talk about the problem, why they want to come out of the European Union, why they want to break free, why they want to have a separate entity, and what is the cause, and ultimately what solution can it bring out, how can it help everyone, how can it help us as well. Okay, so try to draw a synchronized chronological presentation impact. Then number 2 is excluding alternatives. Do not use various alternatives. We can use possible solutions, but this can also happen, that can also happen. For option A, option B, option C, all these can happen. Do not give such vague alternative solutions. Choose one particular solution which you think is effective with proper reasoning and put that as a solution. Clear? Then is pros and cons, means what are the advantages and disadvantages. Now it depends on the topic. Every time you cannot give advantages and disadvantages, but what I liked is that if the first round of presentation which you all gave, most of your presentations had this pros and cons thing. Almost 90% of you people in your presentation had highlighted this point, advantage and disadvantage. So I really like that. Okay. Now number 7, point number 7, after organization of presentation, number 7 is language and words. As I told you, it is very simple. That is, the quality of presentation is affected by the language and words. That is, the audience needs to understand your message. So while you do an audience analysis, try to also work upon the kind of language that you are using. Now, by that language, I mean to say, do not use very difficult words. Nobody is asking you to show your flowery English there. We want you to use simple English, because you do not know the condition of your audiences, who are very, like, there can be audiences who are not that well apt with English, but they understand general English. So if you use flowery English languages or jargons, they will not understand what you're trying to explain. So use easy words, but very catchy words as well. Means your words should be very catchy, means professional, catchy English. Try to use that. Do not use flowery English. And as I told you, try to be interactive. When you are giving the presentation, the language and words that you use should be easy, catchy, and the sentences should be short and crisp. Okay, and try to interact with your audience again and again while you are presenting. Number 8, quality of voice. This is something which I am talking, or which I am telling you historical times, since ages. That is, since the first day I am taking your class from the month of December. That is, do not use, your voice should be lively. Your voice should not sound like a robot. Do not speak too fast. Do not speak like a robot. The voice modulation, intonation, up and down of your voice, tonal quality of your voice, these are very important. When you were doing your GD, since that time I'm telling you the same thing. So it applies for everywhere. It applies everywhere. Your GD, your personal interview, your presentation, quality of your voice is very important. That is, what do I mean by quality? That is, voice modulation is likely to have a greater impact. Means where I need to use a higher pitch of my voice, where I need to use a softer pitch of my voice. That is something which we all need to remember. Okay, so that is something which is very important for us to remember as a speaker. Number 9, body language. This is also very important. This falls under the category of when you are explaining or presenting a topic. Apart from your knowledge, technical knowledge, or your knowledge of words, these also are also having a deeper impact. These are not directly what you speak, but these are signs which convey some message. There are two types of basically conveyance of message. What are the two types? Number 1 is what you speak and what you deliver. That is one type of message convey. And number 2, second type of message convey is how you look and what is your body language and how much eye contact you make. Clear? There are two types. There are this body, this convey of your message has two different contexts. One is what I speak, what I deliver. When I speak, when I say something, if I don't act accordingly, then that will not have any impact. Okay, so body language is very important. Now, what is body language? Body language is nothing but how you uh, use your hands, how you use your face, how you use your eyes, how you make use of your feet. These are your body languages. Now, why am I talking about feet? Normally, when you give a presentation, you are asked to stand. When you give a personal interview, you are asked to sit. So when you are sitting, you're up till your chest, okay, up till your chest or up till your torso. The torso of your body means up till your stomach. You are visible to your audience, means the interviewer. So they will not know what is there underneath. But still, when you enter the interview room, you are they actually judge you from top to bottom, including your shoes. But during a presentation, when you're asked to stand, every moment you are being judged. So your body movement, your hand movement, your feet movement, your eyes, how you look, even your shoulders, okay? Your shoulders should not stoop down. You should have a very firm shoulder. Means you should not have that stooping down body language. You should stand straight. You should have your spinal cord straight. When you stand and when you sit, both. This is also a part of your body language. Keep your hands, your palms open when you talk. Okay? When you are talking, you need to keep your palm. Remember this is very important. When you are talking or giving a presentation, keep your palm, your hands open. Use your hands more. Using your hands, do not keep your hands straight by the side. You're not asked to stand in the attention position. You're not asked to stand in that attention position when you give a presentation. You are actually going to keep your hands open. When you explain something, use hand gesture. When you are explaining something, maintain eye contact every time. Now, eye contact does not mean only looking at the particular person with whom you feel comfortable. Maybe among the audiences, there is one or two particular people looking at whom you feel that this person is looks very friendly. This person will not uh, like note me down in my, if even if I do some kind of mistake, that person looks a bit soft and friendly. That person will not negatively mark me in any way. That does not hold good. You need to maintain eye contact with everybody in that room. If you have 50 people, you have to maintain eye contact with 50 people. Clear? Next is when you are the speaker. Okay. Next thing is, similarly, you need to be very confident, and when you are looking at the people, keep your body language or keep your mind calm, so that your body language actually shows or portrays confidence. Because see, it is very normal. Anxiety, when I will teach you 4 P's of presentation in my next class, I will tell you this, that anxiety and being nervous is very, very normal. Okay, nobody should feel, none of you should feel that I am not that great speaker, I'm not a good orator, I'm not a good speaker, so I will not be able to give a good presentation. Ma'am, I am very bad, my English is not that good. Ma'am, I feel nervous. Ma'am, I lose words when I face public, when I see people, unknown people, I fumble, I stammer. This is something which is very, very common. You should not hesitate. You should practice more and more in order to get rid of the nervousness. It is you who have to practice. So what you can do is, before your presentation, take deep breath. Take several deep breaths. Relax your own muscle. Okay. And use your body energy and strong gestures to impress the audience. Even if you are nervous, even if you feel a bit scared, still you cannot show that. So that is something which you have to act. Everyone, that is why, Shakespeare wrote, there was a famous play written by Shakespeare that, um, I'm not telling you the title of the play, but I'm just telling you what it is all about. That is, this whole world, it's a stage and we all are actors. There was a play where Shakespeare had talked about such a concept, that the whole world is a stage and we are all actors. That means when you are giving a presentation, you need to be a good actor. Even if you are nervous, you cannot show that. Okay? Even if you feel unwell, you cannot show that. Even if you had a bad fight at home and after being sad and you cried, maybe all night you cried, you had a very bad feeling, your friends, maybe you had a bad experience with someone who is a very close friend of yours. But in the morning, if you have a presentation or if you have any interview, you cannot show that. You have to show you are a very happy person. You have to show you are a very lively individual. You have to show that you have a lot of energy, very positive energy. You have to show that you have a lot of positive energy. Okay, that is why practice this before your presentations. Practice taking deep breath, several deep breath. Try to calm yourself down, try to relax your muscles and close your eyes and think about the content that you want to speak. Clear? Because your gestures and your movement will have a deep impact. Lastly, number 10, answering questions. After presentation, normally during your class presentations, due to lack of time, we do not have those question answer sessions. But normally, after a presentation, it is not a debate. Now, presentation is not a debate. Somebody cannot contradict or somebody will not pin you down in between. After presentation, healthy question answer sessions can happen. At the end of the presentation, your audience might ask you questions based on why you said that point, what does that point actually refer to. So that means your interviewers can ask you. That is what I'm trying to say. So that is why when you prepare your presentation, when you make your presentation, when you make use of the content in your slide, do a thorough study, okay, about those points which you highlight. I told you, use catchy words, use proper highlight when you use those slides so that the points are loud and clear to the audience. So please highlight the points which you want to talk more about. And when you highlight some point for those question answer sessions, make a thorough analysis, study, do a self study so that if your audience asks you a question based on the areas which you talked more about, then you can give a proper explanation to that. Basically, not only those highlighted areas, you should do a thorough study of the whole topic. That is why I keep on telling you that do not just blindly copy paste things from Google. Before you copy paste, study yourself. Okay. Now, till now, none of you had given me a wrong impression that you did not study or something. But yes, you prepared yourself only for the slide that you had spoken. This is something which you need to remember. You had spoken. Only you guys prepared that particular slide. But when you are giving an individual presentation, you will have to give presentation of the maybe 15 slides that are there. So you need to know, you need to study all those 15 slides. So please make it a habit from round 2. Do not only, because this is something which I have noted. Ma'am, this was not my slide. That person is absent. So this slide was supposed to be delivered by him. He is absent, ma'am. So can I give the presentation of my slide? Yes, you can give. Now you have that provision. You can give. Because now you are only presenting your slide. But my dear, when you give the presentation in professional sphere, you cannot tell this. Because the whole PPT is yours. You have to present the whole slide. Clear? So be cautious about that. Do a self-study before you come for any presentation. Self-study means self-study of the whole slide. So if there are 8 members and there are 10 slides, 8 members will have to do a thorough study of all the 10 slides, so that if we ask question, or if any of you can ask question, then that person, whoever is asked, that person can give a proper answer. Clear? So this is what I wanted to explain. Now tell me, before we wind up the class and I start with the attendance, is there any point where you did not understand? I will clarify it once again. Is there any point? Ask me frankly, because these factors which I told you, I want to see them used when you do the round 2 assessment, that these things should be kept in mind while we are doing that round 2 assessment. Is there any area, any point among these 10 points, is there any point where you feel that you need a second explanation? All of you understood all the points? Yes, no, tell me something. If you say stay numb, how will I understand? Did you understand all the points, or did you did not understand any of the points, or you understood half the slide, half the things that I explained? Tell me something. Yes, what happened? Tell me whether you understood all the points, or you did not understand a single point, or you understood half of it. Tell me something, communicate, or else how will I understand? If you stay silent, how will I understand?
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me take your attendance now once. I'm going to call out the names of the people who did not respond that time. Let me see if they had joined in. Abdul Basit? Abdul Basit? Absent. Okay. Here, Amrita Adhikari? Amrita Adhikari?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ankita Sinha?
Present, ma'am.
Ankita Sinha? Present? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Arindam Patra? Arindam Patra? Just talk to this boy Arindam, okay? Because Arindam initially was regular. Suddenly, within, like, I'm seeing him for past 2-3 weeks
Ma'am,
again. Yes,
he's having network issues, ma'am.
Arindam, tell him not
Yes,
to miss out on the next 2 classes, please. Because next 2 classes, I will be discussing about an important topic and I will have to take the assessment. So ask him to join in. Anyhow, ask
yes,
him to
ma'am.
join in, okay?
Yes, ma'am. He regularly trying, but he's really facing problem, ma'am.
Facing problem. Okay, ask him to at least, okay, ask him to talk to me once, okay?
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Indrajit Kumar,
Yes,
Indrajit
ma'am.
present. Okay.
Yes.
Ayush Kumar, Ayush Kumar, Ayush Kumar, Vishakha Pandey, Vishakha Pandey, Anish Nair, Anish Nair, Anshuman Yuvraj, Anshuman, Kunjan Jha. Kunjan has internship, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Having internship. Okay, now next batch, Laboni's batch and Laboni's batch. Mohtakib, Mohtakib Alam, Bhavya, Bhavya Singh. I
Ma'am,
saw
Bhavya's mic
few
is
minutes
not
back.
working.
Yes, I saw her online few minutes back. Okay, Anurag Biswas. Anurag Biswas at the Sham is present. Sayan Banerjee. Sayan, Dipanita. What happened to Dipanita and Sayan? Laboni, please talk to these people. This boy Sayan is
Ma'am.
absent for last 3 weeks.
Ma'am, I talked to him today. He said that he is out of station.
No, since how long will he remain out of the station? While he was absent for last, I would tell you, he is absent since 18th of Feb. 18th Feb, 25th Feb, 25th he had an interview. Okay. Again on 27th he is absent. To 3rd, yesterday he was absent, today he is absent. Talk to him and tell him to talk to me then. Where is he?
Okay.
Okay. Because
Okay, ma'am.
he cannot be perpetually out of station. Even if he is out of station, I'm sure he did not go for a family trip. Even if he is out of station, then internet is working everywhere. So he can jolly well join because he needs to join in for that assessment.
Okay, ma'am.
And talk to this girl Dipanita. Dipanita joined the class for the first time on 18th of Feb. After that,
Yes, ma'am.
25th, she did a
Ma'am,
class.
actually, I think she is in Kolkata for her interview for the last 2 to 3 days.
Okay, no, last 2 to 3 days I can understand, but she did not join the class on 25th, 27th, today is 3rd, and sorry, today is 4th, yesterday was 3rd. So for last 4 weeks, I do not see, no, sorry, I do not see her on 3rd and 4th. Previously she was there, yes. Okay, this Mohammad Nihal, Arvind Thakur, Imran, Mohammad Imran, Okay, so these people I have taken the attendance as well. So we will be meeting next week. I will take one extra class along with your regular class. Your regular class is on Thursday, next Thursday. But before that, I will take an extra class as well. Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Ma'am,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, MD Mohtaki Balam is absent today as he has a interview with a company.
Okay, Mohtakib has an interview. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell Mohtakib that next week we will have 2 classes. So he should not remain absent. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, Devaruti Banerjee, 105.
Debaruti, I saw you online. I marked you present. I saw you online.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. We will meet again, and please read this PDF once, okay? Because this is important. And the next PDF which I will send, that is on 4 P's of presentation, and I will explain you that in one of my classes. Okay, thank you so much, all of you. Have a nice day. And one more thing, I'm going to send this recording in your group, so those who are absent today, they can listen to this explanation of that PPT, of that PDF. Okay, tell them that ma'am is sending this audio in our group.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.